Hey there, welcome to Impossible Live Reflections. And you'll see last week's topic is up there. So as you'll laugh, it's one of those kind of fun days. And one of the things that I love is that this is a reminder when you are going live, have your checklist of what's happening behind the scenes for those of you who know me and know me well and have been hanging out with us for the 4+ years of Impossible Live. I I want to thank you for your support. And for those of you who are new, who are just joining us, this is the reminder that behind the scenes is the fuzzy, imperfect, real part of what happens when we go live. And for those of you joining us on multiple platforms, if you're joining us on Meta, if you're joining us on LinkedIn, if you're joining us later for another replay on our YouTube channel, which while we're talking about ways to stay in touch, is Be Visible with Mel. It's on YouTube. And the most amazing thing is we're talking today about imperfection. And as we're getting ready for our very first virtual toast, is the amazing William Rochelle is here and the amazing Jackie Hallberg. And they're reminding me, because I haven't been hydrating today, been kind of a naughty girl, a little busy, head down, is to raise a virtual toast to you and thank you for joining us. Today, you'll notice hair is kind of everywhere. It's that kind of fun day. The temperature drop, we're back to freeze warnings after 90-degree temperatures last week. And from the lens of today's title, Replenish, Trust My Life, and you'll see that the original title, for those of you who linked it or met it, is just catching up. The title that popped up first was Replenish, Trust, Healing Out Loud. Our Healing Out Loud series with Yuritsa Ruiz will continue this summer. If you have a chance, as Jackie's in the house to remind us, take a amazing, amazing moment and pause. Like Bill says, yes, darling, a shout out to us. A shout out, in this case, to William Rochelle, who has some amazing, transparent lives. And as Jackie's saying, Bill has You Be You Live, and he had an amazing impromptu live stream last night that I want to thank you, Bill, because you reminded me after your impromptu ended, I had some keto ice cream and some kale chips to go with your Talente. So, yes, a shout out to us. For those of you who are also following Martha's posts, check out Martha's reshares of Bill's GoFundMe. I'm going to ask Jackie if you have a chance, if you have it nearby, put a QR code in our comments on LinkedIn. I'll make sure for future lives that we also add it because all of us, everybody needs a hand. And I can't wait to see Bill in person when I head back to Florida. And Bill, you're going to love this. I think I'm coming your way for a hybrid event, part of my series. And for those of you who have not met her yet, Jackie has a show that's on Monday night. She just celebrated her 1 year anniversary. Jax and Friends. And I'm laughing as y'all are telling me later. I am really channeling my inner Leslie Flowers, who has put many of us together on her weekly carousels. And I'm smiling. I have to pop in for a replay of her show with Coach Carrie earlier today. And remember to take a little nap before I check out Jackie, who's having Jax and Friends. And she's got some amazing guests tonight. One of the things I want to thank you as Kimberly Lechnick is here, who's joined us for Pockets of Peace. And thank you really for being part of the Impossible Live Village. Today's My Life is framed through the lens of Mary J. Blige's beautiful song, My Life. I played it about 3 or 4 times yesterday. Her song No More Drama is really an internal kind of anthem, kind of keeps me going and kept me going through the beginning of the mental fitness journey, the beginning and the deepening of cultivate trust journeys, the deepening of we rise and soar journeys, the deepening of a mental fitness for a life journey. But Jackie's reminds me to start here. Besides giving you, if you haven't had a chance, and Jackie's on multiple platforms, look up Just Jacks and Guests on LinkedIn and on YouTube. And stay in touch with this beautiful lady who we're amazed has taken a day off. Jackie put a post up on Meta, and I have to thank her because I had put some posts up on Meta. And a lot of people are not as active on social media platforms. They don't want it to control their life, they don't want it to shape their life. But from the perspective of LinkedIn, we've now got a village and a community that's supporting us. On LinkedIn on Friday, I was preparing for setup for the board that I'm on. Now, if you saw last week's share of Leslie Flowers' Q2 carousel and her post for last week would have gone up on the 13th or the 12th. And I reshared it with a little bit about the board that I'm on. I'm honored to be on the board of Fearless exclamation point Hudson Valley Inc. And with transparency, I'm the only board member years ago because of the marketing, the branding, the self empathy, the interest in self care and self love. I'm actually the only board member who voted against the name change. Why? Because I knew behind the scenes it's a little more than changing the wallpaper. It's a little bit more than rebranding, a little bit more than changing the shoes, a little more than changing the tablecloths, the apparel, the outreach. But Fearless Hudson Valley Inc. is the name of the force field of this amazing agency that I had the chance to join the board of. And on my first board meeting, they were reviewing the resume of Kellyanne Costelaria. And Kellyanne put up a post that I was reading, and I reshared it on Meta on my personal page with a reminder about Fearless. And on Friday, I shared a shout out for an amazing woman, Tina Arroyo, who I haven't seen since the pandemic. Tina's speaking on Friday. I'm hoping to go to my second live event within 1 week. And those of y'all who know me, and Aries is here. Whew. The lens that Aries, Jackie, Bill, Yaritza, and our guest Joyce Francis. And Joyce picked the song Lean on Me for Our Impossible Life. And you notice there's a lot of musical themes. Well, music is part of that soul language that Mel's learned to speak as part of the mental fitness journey. And last week, I changed my mental fitness steps to really line them up behind We Rise and Soar, behind the Cultivate Trust in a Fragile World webinar series, which will start next month. You'll see it on LinkedIn in the banner. You'll see QR codes that lead you to sign up pages for it, pages to invest for it, and you'll laugh. No joke. Cultivate Trust in a Fragile AI World every single week has a musical theme. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Aries is here. And I met Aries on Clubhouse on Friday mornings years ago. in 2022. Ari's an amazing guest. Ali had joined us as a guest for the Alchemy of Anger, and Ari's is joining us for Impossible Live series that is about her amazing book, Authenticity Unveiled. The subtext of Authenticity Unveiled, if you haven't had a chance to meet amazing Aries, she's got a million certifications. My girl is magical, and I have to thank her. I tuned in, no accidents. I tuned in on Clubhouse at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I am the girl from the Bronx who is so not a morning girl. And there is Aries at 6 o'clock in the morning. She and Ali, who joins us for Impossible Live, The Alchemy of Anger. If any of this sounds interesting later, you let me know. Ari says, I have an amazing memory. No, I do not, darling. No, I do not. And Ileana, who's popping in, who popped in to join us at Event Alchemy Experiences last week. For those of you who don't know Mel's in the process of sharing origin stories, building a new website for Be Visible Solutions. And Michael and I relaunched Event Alchemy as Event Alchemy Experiences. But back to, this is a volunteer month, and it's a national one. And we're at a time where, if you look at Jackie's post yesterday, and it's got a black border with text as the graphic, and Jackie put a note there that she had shared the post on Meta. Crickets from those with very strong masculine energies. And she then shared it on LinkedIn, and she was reinforced by the fact that some of the guys are like, I hear you, I see you, I feel you. And they acknowledge the post with some sort of support. Because sometimes we're sharing, and it's not that we're sharing into sounds of silence. We're sharing. I was at an amazing conversation in Dana Zeller's and Marilyn Rose's and Heidi's higher coach connective, and I'm possibly connection on Meta. I listened to a wonderful woman who I'm delighted I'm going to have a conversation with tomorrow. And she was talking about trust. And you know me, cultivate trust is my invitation to come join me so we can plant seeds so you flourish in a fragile air world. But ignite trust is Mel's mission. And it is now because of meeting Kellyanne Costal Larrier 17 years ago. So I'll share some of this later and you're going to laugh. Some of you know I was going to a formal long gown. Did not need to be hemmed. I was so grateful. And I wore sneakers to stay comfortable and so I could dance with my love on the dance floor. We popped up for setup. Delighted 3 hours. I got smart, used some points. We stayed at a hotel nearby. We had a lovely lunch with the sun at my back, on my neck, and amazing Greek food. And the part that I want to encourage Jackie to do is, Jackie, I really weighed in the comments of your post, and you had no idea where I was Friday. You had no idea where I was 17 years ago as a new board member. And Leslie Flowers is here. Leslie, I channeled my inner Leslie earlier, and I can't wait to look at the replay of you and Coach Carrie Willis. And as Leslie would say, normally, Impossible Live is 22 minutes. I'm going to try my best to keep the 22 minutes today. But first gala in 5 years for an organization I've been honored to volunteer for 17 years. The backstory: my Nana was a domestic violence survivor. And this was our 40th anniversary celebration of Hope Gala. And these are three of the amazing sponsors. These are the founders. I can put the graphics on and follow Fearless Hudson Valley, and I'll put better copies of this. Lisa Daly, David Goggins, Jacqueline Murray, they founded Safe Homes of Orange County. Fearless Hudson Valley Inc. now serves Orange County and Sullivan County. I voted against the name change as board secretary. I voted against the expansion into Sullivan County. For those of you who don't know what the agency does, it offers non residential and residential services for survivors of intimate partner violence, teen dating violence, and human trafficking. Jackie's post hit me at the right point. I saw it on Meta and I put a little care emoji. And I saw it on LinkedIn after a day of reading a post that amazing Kellyanne had put up on another platform. And LinkedIn is a platform that she's active on. And the post she put up was sharing a post from a gentleman about being one of 62 million men. And I had never seen his post before. Yep, I'm now following him. I reshared it on Meta. I'll put a link in today's comments. But this gentleman mentioned me being one of 62 million men whose wife and daughter know is safe, who honors women, who honors humans, who will keep them safe. His daughters know that. His daughter knows that. His wife knows that. Women he sees in other places, he wrote from the perspective of any other woman who sees him. They don't know that he's safe. They don't know that he's helping hands. They don't know. And we don't know. Under Replenish Trust, under my life, under the lines of Mary J. Blige's song, because as I said before, No More Drama was a theme song. Ask Charlie Scarrett. I'll dance to it like nobody's watching. On Friday at this gala, Mel was there for the first time at the gala for Fearless Hudson Valley. And I was there for a gala for the first time, thankfully, not as a fundraising co-chair, as well as a board secretary. I was there from the perspective of being a volunteer for their dedicated staff, as Kellyanne and Sarita Green showed us how it was done. And Lisa Daly, dolled up, hair done, whoo, a wonderful dress, dancing her pants off with her family and celebrating family, celebrating, as she said, her former husband who used to watch her children around the table as she helped organize and set up Safe Homes Project of Orange County. David Goggins told fabulous stories, naming their first collaborators. We were at a gala with 300 plus people. And for those of you who know Mel well, you know I talk about being the introvert. Talk about trust styles, talk about cultivate trust. I rarely mention the girl from the Bronx who was grateful not to be fundraising co-chair for this event. And really grateful. On the other hand, the volunteer realized before setup that this was my first gala for this amazing board, that my parents weren't with me. My dad's smiling up above that his daughter is talking more about trust. And my mom is preparing for some dental surgery, and resting up before we go pamper her for Mother's Day weekend. What I love is, yep, Bill, Meta, I mean Facebook. Because sometimes, like with the term soul language, and I thank Bill for being the first to ask me during a We Rise and Soar open house. Bill's like, Mel, what do you mean about soul languages? It's when we learn to speak our truth. And as Jackie says, it's for when we're sharing our experiences. And we don't know when something we share is a story, a narrative, an experience that someone else needs to hear that day. We don't know when it hits and it aligns with their core. Replenish trust is my invitation to you. Instead of trying to build trust, try and establish trust. Try to acknowledge those you trust. As I mentioned before, Bill's got a GoFundMe and he's gonna hit that limit to max it out this week, to exceed it, because you'll help. Martha's helping. Leslie's helping. I love seeing Leslie Flowers' name as one of the generous donors on Bill's GoFundMe. And Bill will let you know. Mel was kind of quiet. I said, Bill, hey, I saw your PayPal on the video and I'm running around. I can't find the PayPal. Bill, send me the PayPal because I want to put funds in your hand today. Did I have it? Not necessarily, but I knew, as you would say, it'll always come back to us. The energy, the reflection, the love, the zest. So I'll laugh. Cultivate Trust in a Fragile World will start on May 18th at 3:33 p.m. Now I want to laugh. My Fitbit told me this morning, first sleep, I had slept for 3 hours and 33 minutes. No accident, an angel number. Cultivate Trust in a Fragile AI World will be sponsored by amazing Carla Sellers, one of my team members of Virtual Link HQ Suite. You'll see a landing page shortly because, as they say, life happens. My external hard drive died in the process of creating a new website for BeVisibleSolutions.com. Go to the page. All you'll see on the bottom is an invitation for a Trust Reflections invitation. And you'll see a page that partially looks like my YouTube channel. As we're talking, you're going to see below this post a link to donate via Venmo for Fearless Hudson Valley, even if it's $5. Please send it. If you're volunteering someone you love in honor of someone, I was the check writer years ago when I had it like that, when I had the 2 bonuses in the toxic workplace for our amazing sister-in-law. We were her check writer. When she became our guardian angel, after I was holding her hand and had a chance to spend what we didn't realize at the time was the last day of her life, and my amazing first responder, I said, honey, stay home. I know you're tired. Guess who came down to the city so the 2 of us could be there at the right time? In her absence, I had no idea what to do, so we started volunteering. Volunteered for Revlon Run Walk, and I was the former smoker. It was big to get to a point where Mel could walk a 5K. We then signed up. And this always happens whenever I'm talking about those hidden truths. And this is one of the reasons why I love when I talk with Leslie Flowers about hidden truths and we talk about the 6 fears or the 7 fears. I have a different list of fears through the lens of having broken trust. Hey, Mary Kay. Mary Kay, with transparency, shared the most amazing post recently about honoring her dad's legacy. And that's what Mel will do through Cultivate Trust, because my pop watched the shorts. My mom's like, why is your dad so interested in you talking about trust? Because he realized as a kid, at 3 weeks after Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination, when his daughter came home with a dress that she loved after her first fight with her best friend, because my best friend called me a word that shouldn't be part of the English language. Mel's first fight, he wrote my brother and I a letter that no one will ever see, asking me to never fight again. And the daddy's girl honored that. He said, do it with words, don't do it with your fists. Don't do it with violence. So, as Jackie's sharing posts, I am extremely sensitive to the word triggers because of a cousin, Tiffany, who lost her life because her ex decided 10 days before Christmas, 4 days before her birthday, on a college campus, he decided that was the last day. I'm very sensitive, from losing cousins to gun violence to intimate partner violence to the word triggers to stimuli. We need to be really careful with that language. And that's why when Bill asked me, I encourage us to speak a soul language and to respect each other's body language, the nonviolence language that my dad asked in the letter. As Mary Kay shared her picture of her dad, there's a picture of my pop, and I will share it. And my brother and I, in front of Martin Luther King. I had no idea when he wrote that letter of the significance of it. People, we are talking on disruptive business leadership on Friday at Disruptive Business Leadership 55. Roy put up the link already. Lanier will be in the house. And during our January one, around Martin Luther King Day, I was sitting in my dad's chair talking about my dad. As you're trying to cultivate trust, think of replenishing trust. There's somebody who would love to hear your voice. Send them a note, take them a plate, send them a hug. But everything we're sharing somewhere is resonating with somebody else. I saw Mary Kay's post as I was preparing for a gala without a pop being there. Thought of the picture as a child, thought of the picture with mom and dad and I at the last event. I'm delighted to have pictures with my retired first responder that friends took. Brittany Stillwagon created a reel with two clinking glasses. I'll get the reel. I didn't realize we were on the other end. You'll laugh. My Fitbit is going off and vibrating, so y'all are responding on platforms. But I think, as Bill would say, as I'm dreaming for Cultivate Trust in a Fragile World of the intro and the outro, and as I'm thinking of the soul language behind an invitation to others to cultivate trust, you will see today we rise and soar. We have an open house. Pop in on, pop in and join us for one of our monthly open houses. You'll see an invitation come up soon. If this is your first time Possible Live, please share it with somebody else who you're trying to share a message to with transparency. I am reopening my calendar shortly. You'll be able to click at the links and book time to reconnect. I'm looking forward to connecting with Coach Carrie tomorrow for the first time after Coach Carrie met Lachelle Atkins, and Coach Carrie was on Leslie Flowers' show today. Check out Leslie's Hot Thoughts carousels. Last week, I reshared last week's carousel. I'm a little behind today. And last week's carousel has some information about Fearless. It has some links. There's a Venmo link to send $5. There's an impact statement of the number of people that this amazing agency helped. And I am honored. Whoa! It probably won't print well. So the Fearless Venmo is here. And This is part of the dynamic staff, and Dr. Michelle Winchester Vega and Lucy Gilmeyer, who chaired the gala committee. And I was honored to be able to donate some lottery boards because mom loves bidding on them in silent auction. And I'll make mom another lottery board for Mom's Day, so she can try some scratch offs as she's hanging out in the casino for Mother's Day weekend. It's a time where our sensitivity needs to be elevated. Bill's reminding us of that. Our empathy needs to be elevated. Jackie is reminding us of that. Our sensitivity to things like a family member, our hashtag justice for DeAndre, which I've also shared on LinkedIn, and I've shared it on Meta. And Jackie says, an amazing advocate for others. Well, Jackie, you have no idea the timing of your Ari's and Bill's words in a week where Kellyanne shared an amazing post. Tons of them. But a post that a man wrote about 62 million men. If you are one of the 62 million men, please reach out. If you haven't had an opportunity to raise one of the 62 million men, consider looking through that mirror. I wanted to meet Bill Rochelle last year when we were in Florida. Bill, I am coming your way and Christy's way. Again, I met Christy last year. We forgot to take a picture. I'll make sure we meet Bill and there is a picture. And I want to thank Bill because I met him because of S. Scott Mason, the Myth Slayer. Your posts, your newsletters, your stories, your videos, they are not falling in a vacuum. If you're looking for LinkedIn impressions, don't look for them. Last week, unexpectedly, in Ari's amazing post about publicizing Authenticity Unveiled Journey to Self, I wrote a comment about the complex seasons of gratitude, grief, and growth. And I thank Ari's for reframing it this morning from the lens that grief is first for us. For her. Gratitude is first for me. You'll hear more about that in the Cultivate Trust in Fragile AI World series. You'll hear more about it when Ari's and I reconnect next week for leadership, journey to self. If we have not spoken recently, let's catch up. And thank you for joining me for a slightly longer 33 minutes, Leslie, instead of 22. Bam. Take some time, some space, some care for yourself. As I close at 33 minutes and 33 seconds, have a safe day. Stay safe, stay well, stay inspired, stay in touch, and have a magnificent day filled with blessings, opportunities, and possibilities. Take great, great care. And thank you for being an advocate. Thank you for considering supporting the non-residential and residential services that Fearless of the Hudson Valley Inc. has been providing for 40 years. And please, please take some time for yourself. Relax. Make a toast. Because as this amazing sticker that a wonderful Hudson Valley Women in Business gave me, and I'm hoping to see you on Friday, Tara, when I go chair on Tina. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible. Take great care. Be well. Thanks for listening and for staying, for lending love, for lending light. Jackie, please call me.